guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're going to be taking care of a little bit of gardening maintenance, and if I have a little bit of time before it gets too hot, we may tackle some transplanting of some perennials again, because I feel like that's been the name of the game all season long. So let me turn you around and show you guys the area that we're going to be working in today. Alright you guys, so I'm currently not mic'd up and we are on the front side of our home, which is predominantly very busy. We do live on a main road here, the entrance area. So right here we're just going to be working on a little pathway area, and in this front flower bed, over here it's not as bad with the weeds because, as you can see, all of the Empress Wu hostas are popping up and they're doing their job, which is being a ground cover. But all of the weeds right along in the pathway and the walkway here, alongside the verbena. Also, all of the weeds that I showed you guys that was in this flower bed right here. Right now they are masquerading as plants, but I can assure you that once we start doing our deep dive into this flower bed and start pulling the weeds, you will definitely be able to tell the difference. I'm kind of thankful that they look like plants for roadside, curbside appeal, but we're going to tackle that today. So I'm going to get the camera set up so that we can get that. I do have more surefire rose begonias that I'm going to plant in this area right here, and I do want to get that container moved. I mentioned it in a previous video, and I want to see if my husband will use some of his muscles and I can help him get that out of here so we can get it to the back flower bed where I think it will permanently live. And then I can get some more surefire rose begonias planted in this area. All right, so let me get the camera set up and we will get to the exciting part of weeding. I'm going to turn my attention to my dappled willow because in just a few short days it has turned completely brown. I'm just going to put it in the ground somewhere for right now until I get the area where it's going to be established, and then I can transplant it later. But it has definitely got to get in the ground. I'm not sure what's going on with it other than maybe it just needs to come out of its nursery can. It's been getting plenty of rainwater lately, so it's either root rot or something else is going on with it. So let me get this hole dug and get it in the ground. Okay, so I think it's going to be okay. It was incredibly dry back there. Even though I run the sprinkler systems, apparently it wasn't getting enough water over into the bucket where it was, which makes me wonder about that lilac and those daylilies over there. And I might have to adjust the sprinklers a little bit. But I'm going to run this for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so, and let it get a little bit of water down in its root systems. It's going to look brown like that. I can come in there and clean all that off. I'm not really concerned about it, honestly, looking like that, as long as it'll recover. I'm pretty sure it'll recover. I'll just have to baby it a little bit and make sure that it does okay. All right, so now my husband is ready to move the planter box or the planter. So let me go get a concrete block to set that on, and then we will do that. All right, so right in that empty spot in front of that variegated hosta, which is a Patriot hosta, right there in that little bare spot is where I'm going to put the planter. I feel like the hydrangea get enough dappled light to be productive, and right now I'm just concerned about it growing its root system, not necessarily blooming. It's teeny tiny. So we will put the planter right there, and then I can keep the planter right there and keep something beautiful in it. And it may just be that hydrangea the whole entire time. We shall see. All right, let me go get a paper to put that on. Duly noted. I will go this way. All right, you guys, so this is where this pot ended up being, and this is actually going to be the end of like a garden room eventually. I'm going to have a bench here. All this is going to be pea gravel and a walkway out to the gate and one leading down to the shade garden area. I do have a different pot, so that thing is massive and it is heavy. And so, and it's full of things. And so, I need to get it positioned on there properly, first of all, and then, I may add some begonias or something to it just to add a little pop of color over here. And I think that'll really be pretty. And I'm also going to plant right back there in that empty gap where I can see over into the neighbor's yard. I'm going to plant some evergreen trees there just to kind of give us a little bit more privacy. I love our neighbors, but I do like my privacy. I told y'all I'm antisocial. And I have another container that I think will be really pretty right in there that I can add right there and put the hydrangea in. But yep, everything's looking really beautiful over here. Everything that has been transplanted is doing very well. The salmon substance hosta is getting massive. You guys, look at that leaf real quick. We had some storms, and so this is what happens when they're underneath the canopy here. They get kind of tears in them, but that's my hand in comparison. That thing's big as my head. That leaf is. And then the viburnum behind it. And I may go ahead and, probably not right now, because I don't think it would like it very much if I did that to it. I had thought about transplanting that evergreen right there to go ahead and start the evergreen hedge. But, ooh, almost fell backwards there, tripped. But I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'll just get another container that's empty that I can lift over and put right there. And I'm waiting to start this area because I have to call 811 dig before I can start progress on this area, because there are some lines that are buried in this area, and I'm not quite sure where they are. I kind of have a rough idea of where they are, but I'm not 100% sure on where they are, and I want to be 100% sure because one is our internet, which kind of powers the whole house. All right, you guys, so that's where the dappled willow ended up. I showed you where the pot ended up. Now, where we pulled all the weeds in the front is where we are going to plant the remainder of the begonias. Okay, you guys, it is a totally different day. It's probably several days later, actually, maybe even a week later. We kept getting some pop-up really crazy weather, storm-like weather. So I had to kind of shut the project down. I'm able to get back out here now, though, and we'll finish up the planting of the begonias. I don't know, it's just like, I feel like that's kind of been a thing here lately. Like all of the pop-up storms, and I'm pretty sure like that we are not the only ones here in Georgia that are feeling the pop-up storms. I think that's just across the country in general. But man, I mean, they come out of nowhere. The weather has just been really weird. I just had to pray. I'm like, come on now. But anyway, the garden's looking great. The hibiscus is going out of its first flush of blooms. This one is a very awesome hibiscus. I think I've stated that in numerous videos before, but it blooms more than once for me. So I will get another flush of blooms a little later on in the season. And the inkberry hollies are doing good. Ooh, the weeds are weeding over here. Oh boy. Oh boy, I need to come cut back the hardy geraniums. And the daylily is about to be out of bloom as well. And here is kind of the state of the union in the back flower bed back here, where we planted some other things. Everything's looking pretty decent though, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if I can get back here. So yeah, this is the phlox and everything over here. Bobo hydrangea, the elephant ears are doing great. And the smoke bush is putting on some growth. Things just kind of need to be cut back and trimmed up. It's maintenance time, for sure. And there's the sweet talker viburnum that we planted. The boxwoods are looking wonderful. And I don't know, you guys, if these sublime hydrangeas are going to make it in this. Yeah, it might be too much sun for them. They're going to have to tough it out this season, and I'll find a new place for them to go next year if they make it. Uh, Here is the salvia that we planted and the begonias. So those are looking really nice. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. The grass in this flower bed, though, is just, whew, it's something. It is something. I don't know. I told my husband I think I know what the problem is because I've never had this issue before. We put down, instead of thick cardboard, I put down the landscape bags that you get. That's much thinner. It breaks down quicker, and it didn't give the grass time enough to smother out like the cardboard would. So I'm going to come back through here, spray this maybe, or I'm just probably going to, I have a ton of cardboard in the basement. Probably just going to put cardboard down on top of some of these grassier pieces and then lay more mulch down, and hopefully that will do it because I've never had an issue like this before. But I've also always used cardboard. I've never used the landscape bags, which is honestly just like a brown paper bag. It's not going to take any time for that to break down. So learn from my lesson, don't use those. Get the thick cardboard if you can. That will work much better. But everything else out here honestly is looking really, really good. Also, the dappled willow is looking um, better. And you can see in just that week's time, it's already pushing out new growth. So all this down here is perfectly fine. When the wind blows, it normally knocks it all down anyway, but it's pushed out a ton of new growth. So, and it's got a ton of new growth all over its branches there. So it's doing fine. It'll be perfectly fine. It just needs to get in the ground and get some attention put on it. All right, so let's go over here to my plant stash and get the begonias. So that is going to pretty much wrap up today's video. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me in the garden space today. It is always a pleasure. Don't forget, if you are enjoying this content, to give this video a huge thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It is totally free to do so, and to share it with some like-minded individuals who will enjoy the content. Also, next video or so will more than likely be indoors. It's hot. It is just incredibly hot here already. And with the humidity, I don't mind the heat necessarily. It's the humidity that makes it miserable. I know last year I tried to do it, you guys, and I almost fell out in the backyard twice because the humidity is just so high. The other morning it was, what, 8 o'clock and already 85 degrees, and the humidity was at 85% already. And the day was just getting started. So I think we later had temps in the mid to upper 90s. So it's been a lot, and that's just a lot to have to work in. So we will be doing a lot of interior decorating things, which is fun because I've got a lot of things in and I got a lot of projects that I need to kind of wrap up because the school year is, we're in summer break, and this is really when I have the bulk of my time to myself to do things. So there are lots of interior things. I got lots of new goodies in that I want to share with you guys. So we'll probably be inside for at least the next video or two. But look, I just want to show you guys how everything is looking. I am going to go in and get or go around later, probably later in the evening, get another bag of mulch to go right in this area and right back in this area. And I do need to put some mulch around the mailbox too. But yeah, we will do a garden tour too, hopefully for you guys really soon. I'm hoping. Look at the hydrangeas. These are little lime hydrangeas, so they'll get to be roughly about 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, and as you can tell, they're probably already at that 5-foot stage towards the back there. The ones in the back, there are 5 of them over here, I do believe, and they're kind of interplanted. So there's one in between each one, and I planted them that way, so it would be kind of like a thick hedge of them over in that area, and I love them. So the 2 in the front have been planted, I think, like a year ago, and the other 2 were planted when we first moved in. It'll be 4 years in October. So they're a little bit further along than the ones in the front. Nevertheless, they are beautiful, and I cut on these a lot. So they're really good producers. And then we spin around, and here is where I trimmed up the pink dogwood that bloomed for me for the first time this year. So I did not know this, but apparently baby dogwoods, it takes them about 4 to 7 years, I think is what I read. But I do know 4 is the minimum before they will actually start to put out blooms. This is just a tree that I got when we first moved into this house from Home Depot. I saw it was a pink flowering dogwood. In all honesty, I wish I would have got a Cherokee, but that's okay. This one bloomed. It put out some really pretty pink blooms this spring, and it is getting massive compared to the little twig that it was. So it's grown pretty quickly in the last few years, honestly. There is the salvia I need to come cut back. I also need to come cut back my banana cream daisies. The verbena, looking beautiful. I see a weed in there in the front I need to pull out. And then over here is where the hostas live. I need to come clean this up, but I did put a little bit of mulch down right in this area too, but I need to come back with another bag as well and top this area off. But here are all the hostas, and they're looking really good this year, you guys. So some of these were put in when we first moved in. Some were put in like a year later, and some were just put in last year. Like that little one right back there was put in last year. But these should get relatively decent in size, you guys, and I'm really excited about it because I need it to do its thing, which is be a ground cover, because that's truly what hostas are. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They're beautiful. They've been soaking up all the rain as well, but I'm actually probably about to turn on the sprinkler system and let it water the things in that I just planted. And I'm thinking right back in here where I need to come pull more weeds, I'm going to plant, I have some irises over there, but I'm thinking I'm going to plant my Sedona Sunset coleus right there around that tree. I think it would be beautiful, and it'll bring a little bit of red to the front flower bed area right here. But I'm gonna run in, you guys, and wrap this video up, go get a saucer for this poor little light of day hydrangea. That one perked up, like I said. This one, ooh, it's trying to do it. I see these right here have perked up, but it's got a lot of buds down at the bottom, so it's not dead. It's just incredibly dry. I'll give it a little bit more water too, but I'll let it soak up some water over time. So I'm gonna go over here, turn this on, and this looks so much better than I pulled all the plants out of here. This is where all of my ferns in the backyard came from, you guys. They were all in this area. I want absolutely nothing here, if I'm being honest with you. I am going to keep the hellebores here. I want this to be like pea gravel and pavers, really pretty pavers, maybe like flaxstone, just to have like a little area over here because we can see it from the quiet room there. But I just want it to be kind of bare. But my husband did tell me that we are going to have it approved by HOA. They're a pain in the butt, honestly, if I'm being realistic. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So we have to have that approved first. So we just went ahead and put mulch down this year. We'll get it approved, and we'll have up to a year to get it done. So it'll probably be a fall, winter time project. But that is going to be it, you guys. Thanks so much again for stopping by, hanging out with me, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.